calm, more collected. You can see some captains that have been around, that are experienced, so they're picking the normal. Listen,
I'm just waiting for Carl to open his mouth.
Like, he's been bred and raised in NA, whatever the hell, scrims and pubs. I've lived through the CIS bloodbath. I know how it's like, man. And this right now isn't new. Like, they had 10 kills minute 15. It's not... What?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
It's not exactly on brand, that's for sure. You typically see way more Divide. I remember scrimming against the old school Moscow 5 and Power Rangers.
Remember scrimming
lineup.
against me as well, right?
I do.
Yeah, was it
MYI.
good?
They weren't good, but surprisingly, Lizard was a better Dota player than me when I only had 2 months experience. Unfortunately, we caught up.
Only the 2 months experience. I think we're going to have, by the end of this, right, we're going to have a settled match here.
I'm down to 1v1. I've been playing mid Lizard.
Sure.
As long as I ban Meepo, we're golden.
Sure.
I was even going to be fair and say you can pick your own players, right, and do a full game.
From the studio or just from the region?
Hell yeah, from a studio.
Ooh, so I get first pick?
You know where you're going with this.
Oh, yeah.
He's thought about this, though. That's the problem.
I love Dota, I will say. I'm looking forward to a patch just because I'm kind of sick of a lot of the flavor of the month heroes. The ones that just don't have an answer. Like it, I think, is something that just isn't fair. Yeah, it gets nerfed, but the problem is he still does something better than any other hero, which is crush towers. You get a Necro 3, you don't need boots. That's 1,500 gold faster. You're going to hit any of your item timings.
Honestly, I love the flavors of the month because they completely changed the game in a different direction. I don't think Ice Rock should be the one that's completely changing the game patch after patch. It should be the... Yeah, he can do it, but less often. Give the players enough space to figure out counters to these broken heroes, such as, let's say, Lycan, right?
Yeah, but Phoenix, you can't counter Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely heroes that are exceptions, right? They're way too strong. But they make the meta shift, they make the drafts different, and that's why I like it.
I will say, I like this open. From both teams, I'm not really sold on Shadow Demon, but thus far it feels like in the pro meta, teams are not really willing to face games without any save mechanic, because your core has a totally different game to play now. Whereas, like as an example, Bristleback, I love this hero plays so much better with some sort of combo break because you can just go, and you always know that you're buying space for your supports in the team fight. If they don't have any save mechanic, you get caught.
Speaking of that, Bristleback, he's not been banned yet, right? And there is a Timber ban as well, so...
I feel like both teams could pick it up here, but I think it'd be more likely to be Empire Hope's choice. I'm surprised Chen's making it through the first phase. I actually think it's more of an offlaner now than a 5, but I'm biased because I've seen through 3
But you know what's also funny? That Chen Corb was... When Chen got recently changed, right? Offlane Chen was really popular, and then it just died. And now it's back up again with the same build, Helm of Dominator, rush into Greaves or whatever, Vlad.
It's so good, though. I played against it one game. I was like, what the hell am I supposed to do? To be fair, I did have a Terrorblade that bought boots and said, yeah, because I can't trade here. I'm just like, well, why not buy Ring of Tarrasque stats? He's like, you're noob, muted. So I never really found out his logic, but point is, Chen, very strong in the laning phase.
Tusk plus Grimstroke.
With an Ember.
With an Ember as well. This draft right now looks amazing already. Grimstroke overall is just way too strong. It's overpowered.
They are playing into a Dispel, though. The Shadow Demon can purge off both of these shields.
Yeah, you can. You do need that level 6 to work with it. What? Come on.
Yeah, he'll hit 6 at like 9 minutes.
Alright, that's your ultimate, that's all I'm saying. On the other side you have Inkswell, that's off cooldown in a second, you can use it again.
No, it's
you don't even
not.
have to go for Inkswell.
It's at 25, it's 25 all the way to 10.
Yeah, alright.
No, it's 30 all the way to 15. I don't remember.
Inkswell is amazing.
Yes.
So much damage right now.
It is pretty good.
Especially when you have a hero such as Tusk. Pop that bad boy on him, he snowballs in, stuns everyone around.
4 staff's going to be key in this game. And there's I love this. I love this hero. I personally like playing it as a 2 or 3. I'd say every other game, someone on my team is very mad at me. but I believe in the hero. It's another Soul Ring buyer. And it's very nice here with the Shadow Demon in tow. However, it in theory works really well against Tusk too, because you actually just kite the snowball and then Ice Path where they would hop out of it, and it's just free lockdown. Also, the buff to the Macro Pyre was a really nice quality of life change where you take a little bit of burn damage for 2 seconds after you either exit the fire or it dissipates. It's really cool, but it's very weak against the Ember Spirit. You're really susceptible now as the support duo, just getting jumped on. As Lizard has already said, you know, there's a lot of catch potential with that Inkswell, the snowballs forward, the remnants forward, so these supports are going to need something beefy in front of them to kind of buy that space.
Another Weaver.
Weaver again.
I mean,
It's another core Weaver.
This time on the Empire Hope side.
they don't really have a lot of catch on the
Yeah.
side of Cyber Legacy. If you look at this draft right now, yeah, you do have the arena. Disruption is great, but there's no real instant lockdown for this Weaver. You need to combo your spells, let's say.
Yeah.
It should be strong in the lane as well.
10 seconds remaining.
Maybe a Bloodseeker here?
Could work.
Don't really like it into Ember, but not
Versus
sure.
Weaver, it could work. It could be
Dire
decent.
team ban.
I like that a lot more. I'm a big fan of DK. I love this hero.
I mean, right now it's really strong. You can't. There aren't many heroes that can counter him really well in the mid lane. One of them is Underlord. Perhaps that's an idea, but overall, DK just fits any draft. It gives you a hero to play around. It gives you an objective-taking ability, and also it scales really well at the moment.
And not just because of the dragon's scales, but rather the talents, I think. One of the few, like, it's not super high, but 30 damage at level 15 is not negligible. But the Ags change. Dragon Knight Ags is insane because you get terrain walking, which is just super valuable, plus the insane magic resist and the extra attack range. You get like that third item Ags, and suddenly your hero is indestructible. And you just invite damage. And if you look at the Empire Hope lineup, they really don't have much sustained DPS onto a hero that, per se, has 30 armor, 3,000 health, and 60% magic resist. It's just not much you can be able to do to burn him down.
So what are they going to be looking for here now then?
I love Viper. I think Viper is still underrated. It's one of the few mechanics that applies break. You can break both Mars and Dragon Knight. They don't really like to rush the BKBs early on, and you can, in theory, just stand in your Nether Toxin, and these heroes cannot fight you.
There is a possibility of this Shadow Demon being really fat early on as he's position 4, and he can get that Aghanim's versus Viper, which is also pretty good.
That would then, breaks him.
Yeah. But overall, yeah, I agree. Viper is all right. I don't see him very often. There must be a reason. The hero is bad.
I've been winning games with Viper, but it's kind of a meme because you have to. It's similar to Bristleback, right? Where you invite damage and you either die and your hero looks terrible, or you survive and kill everybody else, which is a lot more satisfying.
You look like a god as well. Now, in your games, Carl, I've got to ask you this while we're going through, because do you get any of them moments where you're like getting good players to play with? Because it just seems to be all terrible.
Well, there was one time I was up against Lizard. That one felt pretty easy. Harry Freak.
Why did I know you were going to go like
I can't.
Man spams Luna 4 position. It is so annoying.
You did not play versus me, by the way.
You just forgot about it.
Perhaps. Perhaps I did.
There's a fake lizard there somewhere.
Probably.
Sometimes you get people that are like just super solid out of nowhere. You don't really understand it, but you know, every once in a while someone will use their microphone. They'll be setting up plays. You're just like, who is this guy? Where'd he come from? I want to build a team with him, but I'm past my prime. This is a tough spot now because I really like, again, the Cyber Legacy draft. I'm not sure what Empire Hope is going to take here to be able to mid-game team fight because all three of these cores are just too strong. You really have nothing to deal with BKBs right now. TA. I was thinking maybe a TA, but into Dragon Knight, into Jakiro, that's a risky play.
Dragon Knight will be on the safe lane, right? And SF will be mid. And even though this TA versus SF matchup heavily favored TA before, it's not like that anymore. You just go with the Raze's first wave and you can get farm on SF easily. It also gives you some setup if he goes for that Yules, gives you an additional cash that you could really need on the side of Cyber Legacy. I like the TA at the same time. You have some good combos here. You have the Weaver as well with the minus armor, with the TA. It's pretty solid. I really like their supports again.
I agree, and I like on paper Cyber Legacy's draft more, but I gotta lean Empire Hope just because I think that they'll be able to just They're just going to kill him. And I look at these two supports, Shadow Demon and Jakiro. This could be a miserable game to play if you fall behind against these super aggressive cores, the Tusk support. I can just see them feeding around the map and then falling
What's happening here on Empire Hope, though? Weaver, Ember, TA, are those our 3 cores?
Yeah.
So Weaver should be our offlane together with Tusk. That's a really strong lane as well. So.
Yeah, I just like it. I think that Cyber Legacy, they're going to have a tough time just getting things done. Their catch is their Mars, it's their DK, but...
If you get the Shadow Blade on DK or a Blink Dagger, perhaps that helps out as well.
How long is that going to take? By that time, TA might have Blink Deso and an Aegis. I like Cyber Legacy's lineup more, but based on playstyle, I think Empire Hope will take it because they're just going to be able to control the map too quickly.
I think if Cyber Legacy is to win this game, they can't get demolished on the safe lane where DK will be, because if that happens, Weaver is going to have that fast vessel, and that's your solution to Dragonite, that's your solution to the Mars as well, and Tusk and Weaver are a very strong lane.
Yeah. The tag team buffs the damage of the bug, right? Yep. It's pretty busted. It's a ton of physical damage, and yeah, I don't know. Well, good luck.
So which way are we going with it? You seem to be going more on Empire this time. You're of Empire?
I'll go with game 3.
Oh, we're going all the way for game 3. You think Cyber Legacy can get the job done? We've got Cinder and Suns fan standing by. Hopefully they can hear me because I want to see what their thoughts are on this as well.
Thank you, friends. Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Cinderin, are you there, Cinderin? Hello?
We don't think we know, Shannon. We don't think. We don't need to do that. We know the answers, always.
That's true. The answers to life and Twilight and literally everything in between.
We couldn't find anybody else.
Let me know if they're talking back to us. I muted them already, by the way.
Oh, motherfucker.
They're just saying how much they admire you as an analyst. And
oh, man, I should have not muted. I wanted to hear that. I love when Kyle Sweet talks to me. It's very rare. Okay. Compared to game 1, this is a lot more of the, how to say, I feel like this is a lot less polarized than game 1. I would say the two strategies in game 1 were very different in timings and what they're trying to do. And this one is a bit more similar for me. Like both teams have a lot of mid-game team fight, lots of stun, willingness to take both skirmishes and fight for towers. One big difference maybe is Cyber Legacy's ability to take said towers is a lot easier. They have Dragon Knight as well as Jakiro, so some good reliable tower damage. But yeah, this will be a brawl. Last game we had pretty few kills at 15 minutes. I don't think this game's going to be like that. Both teams will really want to bring the spells in and get something done. I think...
Who do you actually favor then? Do you agree with the panel?
I don't really have a favorite. I think it's pretty close. This, for me, is a way more execution-heavy game. In the first game, I think overall I would have favored Empire Hope a bit more. They did end up winning, but not at all the way I imagined they would. But, you know, win's a win, I guess. But this one is really close. I think it comes down a lot to... Dota right now is super lane-heavy. And if both teams have fighting lineups, it matters a lot that you come out of the lanes and get that first item.
And how much of this is behind your heavy bias for Mars as a hero?
I love Mars. I think he's fun to play.
But why are you trying to... Come on. You can tell everyone the truth. It's your favorite hero right now. Easily.
It's one of them. It's not my favorite.
Come on, Cinderin. Come on,
But I love it. I love...
Have you actually played it since they changed Ags? Have you noticed any difference?
I think I definitely have played it since, but I don't know if I've bought it since. Because it's not an item I buy every game. I think it's a luxury item on Mars. You don't get very often, but sometimes you do.
Interesting.
Well, if you do want to talk about
your
Mars,
games, like you said, don't actually go long, do they?
No,
the games are over at 20 minutes, feeding down.
I win 20 minutes every game, so I don't need to get eggs when I play Mars.
Understandable. You're just so good.
Yeah. This is not the best Mars game ever, though, I would say. It has potential, but there are a couple of traps here. Mars doesn't like playing against saves and very mobile heroes, so heroes like Ember are really good against him. Weaver can be problematic, but if you catch him in the arena and get the spear, you're one of the great heroes at bursting him. The silence from Grimstroke is actually super annoying for this hero. Your attack speed isn't that great, and you're really spell-reliant. So there's a couple of problems. I would say that he's a nice matchup against TA, though. So that's nice. That's one of the big enemy cores. You can always position yourself so you bulwark the TA, and then TA's damage is not really that dangerous. But let's see how the lanes go first.
We have a tri lane to start here for Empire. with the Weaver Tusk. Wait, why did I think this was a tri-lane? This is a Dragon Knight Jakiro lane. Why did I think there was 3 here? It's the cosmetics again, Cinder, I'm pretty sure. Just getting off to the correct foot yet again.
I'm just gonna assume that you don't, that you haven't actually played the game since you got access to Valorant, and you just think heroes are characters from Valorant.
It's a good game, I won't lie. Tatake in the top lane taking some heavy damage. What do you think about the Ember Grimstroke versus Mars Shadow Demon lane? Don't get to see that all too often.
I like this lane for Mars and Shadow Demon in the start. I think Empire's safe lane is not that strong, but it gets really powerful when they hit level 3. You want 2 levels in Inkswell, and you want probably, I think in this lane you might skill Flame Guard over Chains entirely. That's when you start getting aggressive and kill potential, but until then, Shadow Poison plus Rebuke spam is just way too much damage to handle for the Ember. It's more of an interesting hero matchup later. Can they get the pin here? Not trying for it, he's dead already. First blood.
EC Nart taking a lot of damage. The first blow will go the way of Mars. So nice start here for Cyber Legacy. Shadow Fiend is going to be the mid lane versus the TA. And looks like Shadow Fiend is winning this quite well. Quite handily right now in terms of CS. Has 12 extra damage, 12 souls if you will, at the current point in time. What do you think of this matchup overall? I mean, this is kind of a tried and true old school 1v1 matchup.
It has changed so much over time. I think nowadays I would say it's pretty even. I'm not an expert on this matchup by any means, but based on what I've seen usually, it's a skill matchup, and sometimes one hero comes out with a 200 gold advantage, sometimes the other one does, and then they both kind of, you know, just push out the wave and hit jungle creeps. So it's rare that one of them gets completely destroyed, whereas in the past, sometimes Shadowfiend got run over. Speaking of run over, last hero actually getting genuinely just run at top lane, Inkswell plus Chains, lots of damage.
Yep, it's pretty tough to overcome.
So he did skill the Chains over.
Right now.
Oh, now he's getting Flame Guard. Okay.
Shadow Fiend gets the bottle delivered in the mid lane. I mean, I always love Shadow Fiend in the fact that even if you lose the lane, it's just one of those heroes. You just go in the jungle for like 5 minutes and you're back to normal. The issue with him overall as a mid laner is the fact that he has 0 escape mechanism, really no defensive capabilities whatsoever. Whereas TA at least has refraction or to some degree meld.
It got better defensively for Shadow Fiend after his Requiem got Fear. There's actually a lot of the time you save yourself. It obviously doesn't work in the laning stage, you don't have it, but in the mid game against ganks, ganking Shadow Fiend got a lot harder, because even just if you get the fear on 2 or 3 heroes ganking you, a lot of the time that's enough to enable you to blink out if you have that, or run away with a move speed build with Yules plus travels or whatever you want to go for. So that's definitely, that was a big upgrade to Shadow Fiend in my opinion. I think the change to Requiem was a huge buff, kind of bringing the hero back, to be honest. That fear is really good.
Very strong. He gets the regen rune top.
Yeah,
what level do you actually pick up Requiem? You don't get it at 6, do you? I mean, I'd be shocked.
I want to say usually level 9. I think most Shadow Fiends go 440 and then Requiem and then start getting presence. But there are exceptions. I think there are some matchups where it's super good to have Requiem earlier. Sometimes you just pick it on a whim. Like you level up and it's just perfect in the moment. You're like, okay, I'm going to get Requiem to survive this gank or whatever. Maybe you could even make a case for saving a skill point on Shadow Fiend sometimes, similar to Abaddon, where sometimes you hold your ulti skill point so that you can choose if you want to use it or not. You could do the same on SF, maybe. But, you know, it's efficiency loss every time you save a point on a hero that, you know, he scales with damage on every point, whether it's Necromastery or Raise, it ramps you up. So I don't know how much I like that. Bottom lane, they get the bounties. Empire Hope gets 3 bounties here.
3 out of 4.
Yep.
Not too shabby. They'll be
They're definitely losing the laning stage right now. So that's a good sign for Cyber Legacy. No doubt.
Yeah, looking at Dragon Knight with 30 last hits at the current point in time. Ember Spirit, the opposing carry, 27 last hits. I mean, Dragon Knight typically at least for historically speaking, a mid hero, but when you have 2 mid heroes, you got to choose one or the other. Do you think this, like, I've seen Shadow Fiend be played as position 1 in the laning stage, as we're going to see some action in the top lane. Looks like the Inkswell will connect. That's a lot of damage onto Mars, but the save from Bignum is there.
Yep.
Do you think, is it more just a laning thing, like versus TA the Shadow Fiend is obviously just fares a little bit better. Is that the reason you lane this way?
It's also like player preference. I think for their strategy, it's also flat out just better to have Shadow Fiend in mid. Nice kill.
Jesus, that was a lot of Shadow Poisons. But
what I was
how
going to
does
say
it change
though,
Dragon Knight's game though, as playing as position 1 versus the mid lane?
Right, of course it does. But the thing is, this bottom lane is super easy for Dragon Knight. It's flat out free farm. He's not only got 40 CS because he's playing it well. I can't imagine the Dire enjoying this laning stage. You have a Weaver who's flat out physical damage, more or less, in the lane. Like, you have a bit of Shukuchi, but most of it is right click / swarm. You have high armor against that. You have a Tusk who's full out physical. You're playing against Jakiro that has 2 attack speed slows. You actually just can't do anything.
Top lane, Cinder, man.
Yep, they're fine.
Got TP.
Stop interrupting me on this as a kill chance.
Sorry. Please continue, Cinder. What were you talking about again? I'm
that
very
was it.
sorry.
I'm just saying, I think Jakiro is a really good hero against Tuscan lane. And having it against the Weaver together with Dragon Knight is just added bonus. I think Cyber Legacy just made a really good decision here. A good read on putting these lanes like this. It's
The
a huge
chase
benefit
for that
them.
courier in bot lane was hilarious, and Weaver ends up finally getting it after much damage taken. But he'll take it. That's a lot of gold, of course. Top lane, some more action. Inkswell on top of the Ember Spirit. Looks like Jakiro will be the main focus here. Pops the Fairy Fire, but will fall nonetheless. So we're seeing how much damage this Inkswell can do. Level 2 right now for the Grimstroke.
I'm happy for Empire Hope that they rotated their Tusk. I honestly think you waited too long. Like, if you're Tusk and you're just stuck in your lane and you feel like you're not doing much, you have one of the best gankers in the whole game early on. He could have rotated mid to try to kill Shadow Fiend when TA was level 6. He could have rotated top earlier to just flat out ruin this Mars's game. But he's kind of stuck with his Weaver bot for 6 minutes, and I don't really know how much he helped him. Like, he was... Sometimes you're just there, you know? If you're position 4 and you're just there, it feels bad in this meta. Like, most of the time you really want to exert some sort of pressure on the map. Oh, good raindrop there. That might have actually saved his life.
Yeah, took basically 0 damage from Breathe Fire.
Oh, that's level 1 Breathe. He was okay, actually.
True.
Either way. Gonna grab the bounty at 8 minutes. Refill bottle.
So Soul Ring on the DK. Notice a lot of variation in this build. I think the standard talent tree at level 10 is the mana regen, because it's just God tier.
Yeah.
Do you see the other one at all? Breathe Fire damage reduction?
I think sometimes. I think in this
it
game,
scales
it's pretty damn
really
good.
well, right?
It's super good against TA Weaver.
And if you get a Soul Ring, do you still get the mana regen talent? We'll find out in a couple levels here. He gets the Dragon Tail off. TP support from Big Num. But here comes the Ember Spirit. It's going to get disrupted for now. Mastery going a little deep, but too low to actually engage any further. So no kills will come about. Yeah, I'm interested to see what talent tree he goes in this game.
I like both. I don't play Dragon Knight much. It's not one of my favorite heroes exactly. So I don't know if you need Mana Regen plus Soul Ring, like how much it hurts you to not have the Mana Regen talent when you do have Soul Ring. I think if you don't have Soul Ring, you have to take it, right? Like,
yes,
then
agreed. If you go like double Bracer, like in the mid lane, then you take that talent 100%. You don't get Soul Ring at all in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
Looks like they're going to dive a little bit here. Lots of damage being done. Looks like Shadow Demon's going to be the first to fall. Ember Spirit coming in. Gets pinned against the wall because Mars is now in town. And looks like they're going to find a second kill on top of that. Inkswell into the Mars ult. Will they have enough damage to get any more kills? It looks like it will end up feeding a third kill in favor of Empire as this just continues to snowball in their favor. The Requiem of Souls finally being leveled. That is a 4th kill. Can Shadow Fiend clean anything up? And they lose a courier.
Oh, nice try.
And Shadow Fiend misses a couple raises. So Empire coming out way on top in that engagement. Wow.
Isn't that really on topic with Pokemon? Doesn't Pikachu always miss in the series as well? Like,
I only read Twilight. I don't I don't know anything about Pokemon.
it's like
actually
Pikachu also tries really hard and then he just faints, you know? That's kind of his
I
thing.
see.
At least he didn't faint.
I've
here.
only seen the
He
Ryan
just
Reynolds
missed.
version of Pokemon. Or Pikachu. It was
I
good.
didn't know that was. Oh, you mean the Detective Pikachu?
Yeah, I recommend it. It was quite good.
It was actually good.
Despite
Yeah.
not knowing anything.
This is the last time I was in the
DD?
movies, I think.
Wow. Well, you can't see in Bruges, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. It
DD
doesn't run
applied
here.
to TA. And it looks like he's going to be just fine. In terms of overall net worth, looks like the Shadow Fiend and TA are pretty much neck and neck right now.
Yeah. That was a pretty big shift in the game here. Empire Hope getting those 4 kills bottom, and now the tower just just a better rotation. Shadow Fiend is the strongest hero on the map, and he didn't join the fight until the very end. If he's there earlier with a TP behind that bottom tower, Cyber Legacy get multiple kills here. But instead, they just ended up feeding one by one, and then Shadow Fiend shows up too late, doesn't get anything, and therefore TA overtakes him too by just farming.
They thought they had Dragon Knight on the run, but Shadow Demon and Mars are now here to play. And looks like they'll find the Tusk relatively easily. Mastery should be fine. And this tower is going to take even more damage thanks to that DOT that Dragon Knight does possess. Not quite level 10. I can't tell if you can tell how excited I am to find out what talent he's going to take here, Cinder.
Yeah, I'm hyped too.
Satake, I'm super hyped right now. Big Dragon Knight player here. Jakiro taking a lot of damage in the bot lane next to tier 2. I mean, Valorant, different genre, you know? They don't have a Dragon Knight in that game, unfortunately. They haven't copied it yet. Well, Jakiro will live. But lots of damage being done nonetheless. Ember Spirit, remnants away to safety. Looks like Palantimos is going for a Shadow Blade on DK. So that's going to be the initiation preference. It's usually Link or the Shadow Blade.
Palantimos is in
going to get initiated on
trouble.
Tusk Snowball with the tag team. Yeah, they have more than enough damage to take him out.
I like to refer to this as Omega Dead. I feel like it's not used enough when you like really get killed fast.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage, no doubt. Shadow Fiend gets initiated on with the gank here from Tatake. Gets up his ult just in time to fear them away. He's attempting to run down. Nice ice path from Jakiro. Will catch 2 in there, but it's going to cost him his life. And Weaver's actually chasing the Shadow Fiend. It's going to be close. Shadow Fiend gets the kill. Unbelievable. A 3 for 2. TA on the outskirts of this Mars ult. Very low indeed, but he's going to leech the XP here as Tusk finishes off that pesky Mars. So a 3 for 2, and Shadow Fiend somehow not only surviving, but getting a kill.
I want to highlight Trans. He's doing a really good job on Grimstroke this game. Tons of 2-hero, big Inkswell stuns, good communication with his Tusk mainly going in, or the Weaver. But on top of that, he's getting Phantom's Embrace on Mars every fight, like we talked about pregame. It's actually ruining him. He gets the arena off, and then he just gets silenced every time. So he doesn't get to use his spear or get to connect his rebuke. Nice shards.
He's dead. They're just praising him, and he dies under his own tier 1 tower. Rough stuff. And there is the
Empire Hope are playing pretty fast. You love to see it. That's this patch right now. If you can play aggressive like this and pull it off, it's good stuff. Totally different pace from last game. Way more fighting from both teams.
Yeah, I think this score was what we had at 30 minutes, so definitely true. They did force DK ult, so it's already at half duration. Unfortunate for him, not going to be getting much damage to the towers.
They're looking to pincer this mid lane. Dragon Knight going to farm up a couple of traps here. Let's see what talent he takes, Shannon.
I'm excited.
I hope he skills a spell. He skilled a spell. Yes.
Oh my god. All right, so he's definitely not going mana regen. 100%. I think that's established. He basically picked it in that choice alone. We'll be going to Breathe Fire talent at level 14, maybe.
Will he?
Maybe he waits till level 15 to take that one, you know? Anything can happen in this game. You can still take the level 15 talent before 10, right?
Yes.
They haven't fixed that?
That has not been
That's a feature? Yeah.
It's not been confirmed a bug, so...
You know, it's funny when I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. It's funny when they come out with patches that quote-unquote fix stuff and then other things that are considered features, but they never really tell you, right? Like, remember Centaur was in the game for so long, and Return worked on illusions, and then suddenly, literally 3 years later, people started to abuse it in the game, and then they quote-unquote fixed it as if it were a bug. Just because they were abusing it. I've always been salty about that. My poor Centaur. Just love getting Manta style on him, you know? Great hero.
You hate...
He took the mana regen, Are you serious? Damn it. What is this?
Okay.
Looks like we're going to see a kill on Jakiro on the bot lane as well.
I've got a challenge for you.
3-man squad. Yes.
In the next 3 minutes, see if you can be more wrong than you were in the prior 3 minutes. Oh shit, he's dead mid.
What is that supposed to mean? Ember Spirit does fall. Nice combo here.
Oh, well, I mean,
Surprised he was out so far, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Considering that they just ganked on the bot lane.
Overextended. There's another great combo.
Inkswell onto 2. Shadow Demon has to disrupt himself. And it looks like it will cost them all their lives. Although, wouldn't have mattered either way. So a 3-for-1 across the board, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, so this play from Ember, he was definitely out of position getting caught there, but the team ready and wait to get a good response. They got 3 kills. This Inkswell on Weaver has been probably the story of the game for me. It's really owning. Mastery very confidently runs into every single fight, and the only way they can kind of force him out of it is with a spear, but that Mars is silenced every damn time, and he can't get rid of it. It's level 3 silence now on Ember, or sorry, on Grimstroke, so it needs those 3 hits that Mars just can't get off.
Oof. Roshan died within like 10 seconds.
Oh, Pikachu.
That's a lot of minus armor, and now Shadow Fiend gets off his ult. Gets off a couple good raises on top of that. Tusk, Snowball comes in. There's the silence like you were talking about. Very annoying. Into the Inkswell onto 4 heroes. 2 of them drop immediately. Make it a 3rd here shortly with Pikachu into a triple kill for your TA, who is just balling out of control now. Jakiro does get out. Oh, save that life for another day, but a 4-for-1 as Tusk is the only casualty for Team Empire. You know, technically what I just said is incorrect. Do you know what casualty means? I didn't know this until like 6 months ago. This is actually so sad.
Huh?
What do you think casualty means?
A casualty?
Yeah. Tower is under attack. I used to think it just meant death, but it's not.
Somebody who dies in war.
Right, it's not only died, it's wounded as well. It's a casualty. Isn't that weird? So you're on the same boat as me then.
So you don't have to die.
Right, you don't have
to be a casualty. It's just if you have, but it's if you have been injured in war, then you're a casualty?
Yeah, so technically in that team fight, literally everyone was the casualty.
Well, everyone is a casualty all the time. We all hurt, so.
That's true. We all have feelings, emotions, and whatnot. Weaver.
Oh, I had no idea that was
the enemy jungle, really Dragon Tail into the spear. They're gonna find them.
That's the Dragon Knight.
All set up by that mana regen talent.
Yeah, gotta love that mana regen talent. Really gave him the mana there to get the stun off.
I'm surprised because he has Royal Jelly as well. You really need that much mana? I mean, maybe you do.
Don't know. Oh, Shadow Fiend, not again.
Yeah, he's gonna get caught off here. Inkswell, top of the silence.
They can 2-man him here. Maybe they can.
Gonna be close. They have Touch Snowball. He doesn't even need it. My goodness. And that's Inkswell max damage increased by 100 now, thanks to that 10 talent onto Grimstroke. So pretty ridiculous skill. It's funny because they micro buffed that for years, I feel like. It felt like years, at least to me. And now it's just his best spell early on.
Which spell?
Inkswell.
Yeah,
it's just been... Because when it first came out, it was different, and it was super OP, and they changed it within a week. Remember that? And you couldn't, you couldn't target them or something like that, right?
It was so good.
They kind of implemented that into Dark Willow now.
They're
gonna find the Jakiro. Man, this gank squad is just balling out of control, Cinderella.
Empire Hope are definitely upping the pace in this game. Showing that game 1 win was not a fluke. Unless something drastic happens in this game, they are in a totally dominant position. But here comes their eternal nemesis, just like good old Liquid hitting high ground. Well, good old Alliance, now Liquid, hitting high ground.
No, Shadow Fiend has half his souls right now, so don't have to be super scared of him at the moment. TA still with the Aegis, of course, has the 10-second BKB to go along with his Deso, and Blink is not even that far away. They might even just wait for that, honestly. It's only like 500 away from finishing that. I forgot to mention, Sinner, I would like to retract an earlier thing that I said that was incorrect. I know I'm almost right all the time, but the Fallen Sky is now just a complete droppable. It's no longer components based.
Right,
so
that's what I thought got changed, but I wasn't sure because I've never seen it. So
right. Well, from what I remember, when they changed that, they also changed it to be much worse than it used to be, where if you take damage, it cancels your Blink.
So it's literally the only neutral item left that still uses a recipe is Trident.
Yes.
That's so random.
It is, but if you made it drop as is, Trident is actually super overpowered, more so than the rest of the items, I think. So they'd have to nerf the item.
Is it better than Apex?
Yeah, Apex is garbage now. It's only 80 stats.
Oh, right, it got changed.
I shouldn't say it's garbage, but not nearly as good. I think Seer Stone and well, depending on what's the Hurricane Pike one, whatever that's called, depending on the game. If you have like a sniper, then it's super OP.
Ballista?
But yeah, Ballista. Otherwise, Seer Stone and whatever we were just talking about are the best items.
Fallen Sky?
No. What were we just talking about? This is my memory, my goldfish
Apex.
memory. No, okay, so we're done here.
Trident.
Trident, thank you, is the best item.
Oh, Weaver?
He's gonna get caught. That smoke does break. They have a sentry.
He's in a pretty bad spot here. Oh, he's gonna get out. Oh my god, he got out.
Wait, the Dragon Tail? No.
He's not
Actually
getting
dodges it. And this is gonna cost him a tier 2 tower now.
Oh, that feels really bad. You have your entire team stuck in this upper half. You're being dominated in 2 lanes, and you don't even get the pick in the lane you went to. Now you're going to be forced back to base. All of this movement, all this effort you put in is going to be in
The
vain.
Aegis is gone. Gotta be careful here. TA was getting something delivered. I believe he bought something else. Ends up going for the Dragonlance before Blink. That's a little surprising. I guess for high ground it makes sense, but I mean he had enough for Blink. Initiation now.
Mid lane.
On to
Poking and
Mars.
prodding. They're not committing here, I think. Good damage.
Wow. Jeez. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous the amount of damage that hero does right now. And they don't really need to rush this either. They can just wait for the next Roshan. They have a 10k network lead. They have control of pretty much the entire map.
Complete map control. The Radiant team is completely stuck in their base. They're not even pushing the top lane because they were forced back. So now the one area of the map that was theirs is now also lost. They have, I believe, 1 ward on the map right now. And that one might just get dewarded. Actually, it's expiring in 5 seconds. So they will be blind and completely cornered. It's really difficult being Cyber Legacy right now. There's so little in the game that you can do.
Oh, the combo.
Gotta try to force something.
Actually, the Inkswell, I don't think connected there, but the Snowball well, and yeah, easy kill. I mean, they have so much minus armor, it is kind of ridiculous. So DK just feels like he's so squishy.
I think you have to, since the Aegis expired, I think you had to try to force a fight. Like, it's not going to get easier. There's no big item timing coming up that's going to help you. Shadow Fiend went Manta to try to deal with TA's refraction charges. You don't have any BKB coming up. You don't have any... Like, you can't wait for this DK BKB. It's way too far away. 2k gold. In the time he gets that, the other team gets an item each if the map stays like this. So I think when Aegis expired, you got to try to smoke into them and get vision and take a fight. Like, this is not going anywhere. You're totally
Maybe
dominated.
they're just waiting for the next time to fight inside Roche Pit. Maybe that's their play.
Yeah, but will they ever get there and have any control, though? It seems so hard for them to get up there. When Roche is about to spawn, Empire can just take over the Radiant top triangle, deward it, cover it, and accessing Roche will be extremely
the
hard.
Manta for Shadow Fiend. Does it feel kind of bad to have to go this item? Or does it feel okay still? Like as a first item?
I don't know.
You're a real big Shadow Fiend player, I know. So play a lot.
It used to be my favorite hero in Dota 1.
Weaver
actually
gets caught off. What? What do you mean? Night Stalker was your favorite? Why do you lie to me?
In Dota 1.
The stream. Yeah,
in Dota 1.
Night Stalker.
No, it wasn't my favorite. I loved Shadow Fiend Dota 1.
My whole life is a lie. Looks like Tusk is gonna find Jakiro. Will it cost him his life? He's gonna attempt to TP out, but he's gonna get.
They got out and found something. That's good.
And it did cost him DK ult again. Kyle was he was talking about the Aghanim Scepter on DK and how powerful it is.
It's not good this game.
Yeah, I was going to say this game, especially when you're going BKB as a second item, you're not doing any damage pretty much. You're relying on your Shadow Fiend for the most part.
Yeah, I think in general this game, it's not... The biggest weakness of going Ags is you don't get any... Like, you get a bit of stats against physical damage, but in terms of overall tankiness, there's so many better items than that against this type of lineup. Oh, he blinked into the stun on Mars.
Onto 2. Yeah, Mars disabled for an eternity, but they still find a kill nonetheless. And it is an important one. It was Weaver.
Well, it's going to cost them all their runes. Oh, Weaver. He timed us back into them.
Oh, dear. No. Another mark into Spear. Well, they might not have enough, though.
Oh my god, he's gonna live.
He's actually gonna live.
Terrible, and it still worked. Oh no.
Oh, TA actually finds an Orb of Destruction. My goodness.
Oh,
that is even more minus armor, as if he needed it.
I think...
they're gonna find the Jakiro.
Okay.
Yeah,
he's dead.
He died in midair.
I don't know if you put this Orb of Destruction on the TA, actually. I think you should give the TA maybe the Paladin Sword and put the Orb of Destruction on Ember, because it applies to everybody he slides, right?
How do you see the other team's neutral items?
You
keep
click
showing
one of
me
their
the
heroes.
Radiant. Yeah, I did. I see Craggy Coat Repair Kit. I'm clicking on TA.
Double click an icon top right.
Okay,
it works
now
for
it's
me.
working. It's weird.
It's a bit dodgy sometimes. I don't know. Yeah.
So Paladin Sword, Orb of Destruction. Yeah, I could see. I mean, you don't get the full effect of Orb in terms of the slow and whatnot since you're ranged, but you still get the -5 armor.
Right.
And this is your minus armor hero.
It's It's obviously good for TA. I'm just min-maxing here. Like, I'm thinking maybe it's better to get it on Ember, so you get it on everybody, and then the TA can get the Paladin Sword. Which
True.
It's alright.
DK popped his ult, by the way. And he is
he is
Lothar'd in.
Way out on his own. If he tries to
going?
take this outpost, that's really terrible. Okay, he's not.
Where is he going?
He is
going to
gonna
secret
farm in
shop?
the enemy triangle because nowhere else is safe.
Wow.
This is a play you'll see made quite a lot in high-level Dota, is if you can't access anywhere in your own half of the map, you gotta go somewhere else, right? So if you can somehow sneak over here either with a smoke or with a Shadow Blade, it's unlikely the enemy team is farming this, because they're trying to chokehold your lineup, right? They're trying to control the area close to your base. Now, if they had literally any ward in this area on Dire, this Dragon Knight is totally dead, because he will never expect.
Why would they have a ward, though, at this stage of the game when they're this far ahead?
If you're foreseeing this play being inevitable, then you can prepare for it. Or TA traps would be enough, right? Just like one trap on a hill could have done the job.
I mean, it costs him his ult, but of course they don't know his ult is down.
They have no idea what he's doing.
One good thing about it. He takes out 2 ancient camps and a regular one. Picks up a mind breaker now. I mean, is there any item that really is going to turn the tides here for Cyber Legacy? BKB is pretty close here for Pikachu on the SF.
I'm mainly looking for how do they get out on the map. With I think that you get these 2 BKBs and you Hail Mary. I think you can't just keep being okay with this. But at this point, now that the BKBs are close enough, maybe it's worth waiting for. Good damage.
And they're going to find the... well, Shadow Demon will live for now.
Good pipe.
The Phantom Embrace is destroyed.
Yeah, two BKBs and then it's go time. That's my verdict here. I think waiting any longer just makes it harder and harder.
The good news for Cyber Legacy is they have a repair kit in there. The bad news is it's not nearly as good as it used to be.
Yeah.
So high ground will still be relatively easy to take. Especially with TA with all these items. Still has the Aegis. And they can go balls deep if they really want. This is the last outer tower, so this will be a freebie.
You can tell that
you have to assume they're going high ground.
You can tell that Empire changed their approach a little bit here. They were like, okay, we're dominating the map. They're not doing anything. We're going to send Weaver bot to go to the shop to build on his work on his ags and push out bot wave. And on the way, he noticed that all the camps were farmed. He was pinging, okay, Dragon Knight was here. But that also means now that they know he's not there anymore. So now they have full map control once again. All right, this could be an opening.
Can they burn this Aegis? This would be pretty big. At half HP, there's the spear. Looks like they'll take it out. Now the question is, do they want to continue on? Mars will pop the ult. Tusk is taking the brunt of the damage right now. BKB popped by both the Dragon Knight and SF. SF taking a lot of damage in tow. But the Ember Spirit will have to back out now. Empire looks like they're a bit on the run here. The stun on top of Master. He has, he has spider legs on Weaver. That's gotta be very annoying to deal with.
Very conceptually fitting.
So they take out the Aegis and a Tusk. So overall, a win for Cyber Legacy. Maybe not to the extent that they would like, but better than nothing at this point.
It did cost.
The problem is with this DK ult. Yeah, DK ult is about to go away here in a few seconds. So we'll see if Empire wants to jump.
Big item as well now on the Weaver. Grabs the Ags. One of the luxuries of playing this hero as a position 3 is your flexibility in item build. Oh, they found Big Num here. Who found who, though?
Silenced up. But Weaver again getting pinned to the side of the map. DK ult is down, but he gets off the time lapse just in time. No pun intended. That's not really a pun, but whatever you want to call it. Tusk is going to snowball in. Dragon Knight still silenced up. A lot of damage being done to Mars. He's going to be the first to fall here as a buyback from the Shadow Demon. Ember Spirit pinned against the tree as well. 60 seconds of no Ember. That's a big, big kill. Mars is going to ult, but to really no avail. More of a zoning thing at this point of the game. Shadow Fiend falls. Jakiro now is next. Mars attempting to TP out will be successful.
Yeah,
So
Ember
kinda
being a little bit
interesting fight
over-aggressive. He triple remnanted in to burst, and then he didn't have an escape plan. And just got pinned and killed. But yeah, the end outcome for Empire Hope still very good. They get a 3-for-1. They force a buyback on SD, and they're starting to hit the high ground. And obviously, TA can relatively safely hit this this tower as long as it's earned up a bit and has the Weaver behind with time lapse. Knowing that Shadow Fiend is dead, they don't have that easy way of removing refraction. So it's a pretty big safety net having that plus Ags covering you. I wonder what Empire Hope are going to do if they're going to wait for the next Roche. That's 3 to 5 minutes away. They still have complete control of the map if they don't give it up now. Yeah. So
they also know that Fort is now down, so they could use that in addition. Yeah, they could just wait for Roche and play it a little bit safe. So yeah, Weaver now having that Ags like he talked about can save his teammates. Am I the only one that gets kind of annoyed that if you have to use it on yourself, it's just more of a chore? You have to double click.
Double click.
Yeah.
You can bind self-cast to holding Alt, so you can Alt click.
Oh, okay.
Then it's only one like actual key tap on that. But I mean, yeah, it is. But how else would you implement it? Yeah, I don't know.
A different skill entirely.
Yeah, no, that's true. You could do that.
That would sound just dumb. But I mean, have they actually
time lapse?
I've never played
other person time lapse, and then they share cooldown.
Yeah, they share cooldown.
Yeah,
true.
You could do that actually. It wouldn't be that.
I'm sure that in itself would annoy more people, though. I feel like. Have they changed the hotkey for? I haven't played Puck in years. For Illusory Orb, to where you hit it again. Instead of D, you could just hit Q again. I don't think they've done that, right?
It's a separate spell. Jaunting is a separate spell.
That always annoyed me as well, especially coming from Han.
If it was the same hotkey as throwing out the orb, if you were stunned and you're trying to get orb out as fast as possible, you would instantly jaunt to it. That would also be
I understand that, but they've done that for other spells where they put in like a 0.25 second delay that just
That's true. You could do that. Yeah, you could.
And then Haunt as well is kind of annoying.
Reality has its own hotkey. Yeah.
Especially now that there's Ags in the game, so that's an additional hotkey. Not to be that guy.
It's hard, man.
You know,
that's where Valorant is nice. You just shoot.
Here we go again. That's not true, man. You get killed by like one ability. You can get an entire team wipe with one ability.
Oh, but it's one ability, so you just need to press one button. There it is again.
One button.
That's the key.
That's true. All right, you're making some great points here, Syndrome.
I know. That's what I do.
I'm sorry that you didn't get the key, by the way. I don't know how much you were looking forward to that. Looks like they're going to initiate onto the DK. Spirit Vessel is applied, but he's going to pop the BKB along with his ult and Ember Spirit. Is he actually disrupted? I don't even know where the hell he went. Actually, I guess he time-lapsed out with the that newly picked up Aghanim Scepter with a 10-second cooldown, I believe. Palantimos applying some more pressure as SF will drop. Shadow Demon is next. Palantimos looks to be third or fourth. They're just going to call it GG. This was not even remotely close. Trying to hype this up for no reason.
Destroyed this game.
Yes.
Honestly, awesome showcase for me of what Grimstroke can do when the game is really in his hands. Like, this was... Inkswell was the spell of the game, and they had two really good carriers in the Tusk and the